Welcome to another Purple Army podcast in association with Goldstone Wealth Management. This is episode number 103. I'm Ross McGregor. In this week's show, we'll discuss some of the recent happenings around the league. We'll chat about the comments and topics sent into us. First off though, we discuss the recent games. Joined for tonight's programme by Graham Thompson. How are you, Graham?
Doing very well, thank you, Ross.
And Stephen. How are you, Stephen?
I'm fine, thanks, Ross.
We've no Jennifer because she's still working back shifts. She's not been banned or anything, so... touchy subject. We'll maybe get that later. We haven't had a podcast last week, so we'll go back to the Friday night Challenge Cup. It wasn't a dead rubber as such, but anyway... home against Sheffield, 3-2 in overtime. I didn't get to the game, kind of just didn't go. By all accounts, the team played reasonably well. Playing a Sheffield team with a backup goalie, giving the young guys minutes, but still, they showed they can match up to Sheffield to an extent. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. The people that I know said, Sheffield looked as if they could maybe have sprung up another gear if they needed it. Again, Challenge Cup, it was back again. I think I said it in the last programme. We didn't take this competition seriously. We started the first two games against Manchester 5 imports short. We might have given ourselves a better chance if we'd had a full roster in. Me personally, wasn't really interested in the game on that principle, which a lot of people probably think's wrong. Hockey's hockey. But nah, it just wasn't for me. I don't know. I don't know if any of you two had got to that game at all, Graham, Stephen.
I may surprise you to hear that I was actually at the game. I made a last-minute decision to go, and interesting. The game was certainly. It wasn't a dead rubber for us, as you rightly say, but I think it was more from the point of view that I think John Tripp's trying to find out as much as he can about the roster that he has available to him. As we keep saying, it's not working, and obviously when you can use a game against fairly high standard opposition, although you would argue that's probably more, practically all games nowadays, then it's a learning experience, and who's doing the business for us. So I'm quite sure that our players were given the message that this is nothing like a dead rubber. You have to go out there and you have to prove yourselves. Mm-hmm. And overall it was an okay performance. Yes, we were up against a distinctly short-benched Steelers team. They had resting players, playing youngsters, as you say. But that's still a good Steelers team. You can never underestimate them from that point of view. So, irrespective of a backup goalie and a bunch of kids playing, it was still a pretty high-standard team to play against. And we acquitted ourselves reasonably well. Yes, okay, we lost at the end of the day, but I'm kind of hoping, and we'll talk about the further games obviously, but I'm kind of hoping maybe Tripper learned something from that exercise, because we didn't play badly. We really didn't play badly, but our whole story at the moment is that there are some decent individual performances, but the whole thing is just not clicking. And you would argue that's probably what happened again that night. So, yeah, it was okay, but you can't draw too many conclusions from it as a fan. Hopefully Tripper did.
Yep. Stephen, did you get to that one? Or?
I don't think I've been to a game in... the last game I was at might have been the 7-1 defeat against Fife, if I remember correctly. So, no. I didn't go. I didn't want to spend extra money like yourself. I've paid a lot of money for a season ticket that I'm not using, admittedly, but I paid a lot of money for a season ticket. I got my jersey, and that's it as far as I'm concerned for going forward, in terms of extra games and things like that. So, no, I didn't make that one.
Yep. Belfast the following night. I don't think, again, any of us got to that. I think, there's reasons probably for that. Which we might come on to later. after the events that unfolded that day, I just could not face going to the game, even though it was a season ticket game. I'd already paid for my ticket. I just couldn't face it for reasons we might come on to later. And I guess, you know, it's pretty much the same. Well, Graham, we won't go into that just now. For yourself and Stephen.
Yeah, I made it as far as Brayhead. There was a whole bunch of things. Yeah, I was at work. I was tired. The incident you're talking about left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just really couldn't be bothered with it at all. You know, I just wasn't in the mood for hockey that night.
So what you're basically saying is that the two of you got further away from more than I did. That's interesting.
Yeah, basically.
I was closer to the game than both of you.
Well, I was sitting about 4 miles away with some of my friends, but my plan in the morning was to go. I'd went to the St Mirren Morton game, and my friend stays just down the road for the stadium, and went down to his house and we're still having a few drinks, and at 6 o'clock I kind of thought, will I get a taxi or not? And with all the things that had been going on that day, I just thought, do you know something, I can't face the arena. I just can't. If I can't face it, I just didn't want to go. And that's the first time I didn't want to go, probably in all the time the clan I've been in existence. I just didn't want to go. Again, you know, there's obviously reasons for that. 3-0, we went 3-0 up, lost 3 goals again, and lost in overtime. You know, it's a decent performance against, you know, Belfast. I mean, it's alright to say Belfast were short in imports. We're short in imports. Adam Brace is still out. We were still 1 import short from recruiting at the start of the season. I think Craig Peacock's been out injured for a couple of weeks now, missed a few games. He's probably our top Brit at the moment. So, you know, we were not exactly at 100%, but playing a Belfast team as well that weren't, disappointing to lose 3 goals, kind of indicative of the season that, you know, even when we managed to get into overtime, I think that was our first overtime game of the season. Sheffield game was overtime as well the night before. But, you know, we just couldn't get over the line. And again, you know, people I've spoken to who were there again say Belfast looked as if, you know, they came out the gates really, really slowly and slowly started clawing back and getting better as the game went on. You know, you just kind of think it was inevitable, Stephen, don't you?
Yeah, you know, I was following along in the flash scores on Twitter, and so we're 3-0 up, and even 3-0 up, I think, I was 3-1 at the end of the first, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I just didn't think that was a lead that was going to last us, and turns out it was right. You know, it seems like, you know, we're making chances, we're taking chances somewhere, but we're still not managing together a 60-minute performance just now. No. And the fact that the goal that took them to overtime was a short-handed we had a 5-minute power play and conceded short-handed. I think that just is about the team just now in terms of where we are and how we go forward. We seem to be conceding a lot of short-handed goals this season. Yeah,
somebody asked me about the statistics for that. It's not one I could get them from about 3 years ago. I've never really kept track of them for day one, but it seems to be a poignant start this year. We followed that up on the Sunday night last weekend by going down to Sheffield and losing 6-0, and it's the heaviest defeat we've ever had against Sheffield, home or away. And we just didn't appear to be at the races for that one either, and yet another performance where, you know, we just look a very poor team. And you know, that's another reason why we did not have a podcast last week, is purely because, well, you know, we were difficult to get in time together, but also because we just felt as if we'd be repeating ourselves again, you know, constantly talking about not just getting, you know, losses, but the manner of the losses. At least against Sheffield and Belfast we got into overtime, but the Sheffield one away was just 6-0, and, you know, again, people are saying, you know, Sheffield kind of took their foot off the gas in the third period. Disappointing results again, Graham, and that was a league game where Sheffield maybe were taking it a wee bit more seriously than they did on the Friday night. And it's just horrific how far away from the top teams we are at the minute, isn't it?
It is, and I'm not sure I can add anything more to what's already been said in the last couple of shows. Things just not working. As I say, you can identify individual performances of some quality, but as a unit, it's just not happening. And I didn't see the webcast, But the score itself tells its own story, and obviously I have spoken to one or two people that did see it, and the heads went down. We were knackered, frankly, and just the whole thing kind of fell apart. So, and again, we're playing against a Steelers side that wasn't absolutely full strength. Yep. So, as you say, the gap is extremely big at the moment, and it seems to be widening. And it's a shame because right about now we should be hoping for some signs of recovery. We should see some signs of improvement, and we're not really seeing it right now.
Well, we got 3 shots off in the first period against Sheffield. Three. That's the lowest in the first period we've had all season. Sheffield had 18 shots in the first period alone, which is almost as many as we had in the whole game. That's where, there's, okay, you could have 50 shots a game if they're for the blue line on the wing, but quality shots and shots are two different things. But we are so outshot at the moment. It's scary. I know it's not an ideal start, and I've been going on battering on about it for weeks, but when you think about that, you're going down to Sheffield, you know they're going to come out and blitz you, but to only get 3 shots on the net in the first period is just, we've never been, I don't remember us ever been like that. But when you look down the list, there's been first periods, especially away from home, and there's been quite a few 4s and 5s as well. It's like we're not at the races, Stephen. I don't know. The one against Sheffield, 6-0, hard to take. Expected, hard to take, but expected. Very similar to the 5-0 defeat at Cardiff at the end of September, where we're not at the races at all. We were never going to win. So, no, not a surprise for you, Stephen?
Not at all. Sheffield, they beat us on Friday. I think they lost to Fife in overtime on the Saturday. So you knew they were going to come out gunning for the points, especially at home. And seems like we never at it, as you said. We just couldn't compete, completely dominated. And against a team like Sheffield, if you're going to put in a performance like that, there's pretty much no circumstance where you're going to come away with any sort of result.
Quickly moving on. I think it was Thursday or Friday night. I think it was Thursday night. I'll stand to be corrected. There was a kind of tweet coming out by the clan saying they'd announced it at 7 o'clock. I have to say, the last thing I thought it was going to be was a player. I thought somebody was leaving, and maybe even of their own volition. But anyway, it turned out to be a signing of Michael Gutwald. I don't know if that's a correct pronunciation. 24-year-old Czech D-man, left shot, 6'2", nearly 200 pounds, who hadn't really had a team from the start of the season. So you're kind of thinking, this isn't the guy that we have been patiently waiting for. This is a guy that's available and willing to come, really, isn't it? I have to say, I did get the Edinburgh webcast. I didn't go through to Edinburgh, but I got the webcast, and he didn't. I mean, there was a bit of a, one of the goals you could argue he was maybe out of position, didn't play it very well. But generally speaking, he seems to be okay. Again, we're talking about playing an Edinburgh team that have won one game all season, I think, in the league. It's not exactly the sternest opposition, but you can only play what's in front of you. And he seemed to do a job. We'll maybe get a better idea over the next few weeks. We're talking about Nottingham away on Saturday, Guildford coming up on Sunday. But generally, it's very hard to say how this guy's going to be. It can't be, in a defence that's crying out to be shored up. He's got to be something, Stephen.
Is that where we're going, mate? He's got to be something.
He's got to be better than something. We've been struggling so much in defence. You know what I mean? Anybody is. But the only thing you're thinking for me is we could have potentially had this guy in the summer.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one thing that's really sticking in my craw, so to speak. If all season, the defence has been the problem. We're leaking goals, or we're not looking good at the back at all. And this guy's been available, so I don't know why. Even if we got him in like a trial to begin with, just say, "Well, get you over for a month, see how you look," and the potential for a deal is there if you play well. I think that's the sort of thing we should have been looking at until a permanent opportunity came up for a signing. But he's here now. He's a big body, which everyone said we needed because our defence is quite small. If he clears the crease out and just does his job, I'm sure he'll do fine. He can't be any worse than what we've got so far. No. So hopefully he comes in. I've obviously not seen him